right? Just make sure you have all your props. I'm gonna mute everyone, but if you need to ask me a question or something happens with the audio or whatever, please feel free to unmute yourself. Okay. And of course, we always start centering. You can also use props for your centering too, if you like. All right, let's just hug your knees in towards your chest and just take a few rocks from side to side. And then just extend one leg straight and send the other leg straight and send your arms above your head. Stretching, right? Take a nice stretch here. You can rotate your wrists, you can rotate your ankles, right? And then just bring your arms down by your sides. Now, if your legs feel comfortable here, you can just leave them as they are, right? You can always bring the soles of your feet together or bring your soles of your feet down to your mat with your knees together so they're TPing. That's called constructive pose. Allow your eyes to close. And then just slowly turn your chin from shoulder to shoulder. All right, so try not to just go through the motions, right? Pay attention to how you feel, right? What's going on in your body. And then come back to center, rest the back of your head, and just take a deep breath in through your nose. And then sigh it out slowly through your mouth. And then just slowly breathe in and out through your nose. If ever you're feeling a lot of tension or anxiety, exhaling through your mouth is really helpful. It's a letting go breath. You can do that as many times as you need to. So notice all the points of your body that are making contact with your mat. And just feel a sense of heaviness without forcing anything. Right? You want to feel fully supported here by the earth. And just begin to soften and relax the muscles of your face. So beginning with your forehead. And soften through the space between your eyebrows. Rest your eyelids softly. Relax your cheeks and your jaw. And just relax your tongue in your mouth. Sometimes that creates stress too, if you have your tongue on the top of your mouth. You can leave your lips slightly parted and just relax. And let your shoulders relax away from your ears. Relaxing through your arms, right through your wrists, your hands, and your fingers. So you can open and close your hands like make fists and then open, and you can rotate your wrists again. And then just let the backs of your hands rest. Relax through your chest and your belly. All right, so upper back and lower back, like where your hips are. So if you were to put your hands there, and you can, there's a natural curves in your spine. You're not pressing your back down. So you feel your upper back and then that natural curve, and then your hips come and rest down on your mat. Rest the backs of your thighs, right? Your calves down to your ankles, feet, and your toes. Okay, so here too, you can point and flex your feet, and you can rotate your ankles several times in each direction. Then you can relax the fronts of your thighs, your quadriceps, and your shins. Sometimes it helps to bounce your legs just a little bit and just let it go from there. And then if you still feel yourself being tense in any areas, just try not to pass any judgment, right? Just be aware of, what's going on. And then notice the rise and fall of your belly and your chest with your inhalations and your exhalations. So consciously slowing down the breath, right? Extending your inhalations and your exhalations can help to calm down your mind, the monkey mind, call it, right? The reason we do all the asanas in yoga is to calm down your mind. So at the end of practice, you do your shavasana. So you've worked your body physically. When you come to shavasana, the mind is a little clearer, or it should be, right? And then you rest for those couple of minutes, which is really important. And when you slow down the thoughts of your mind, it helps to relax the physical body. So if you know any areas that you tend to hold on, just be aware of that now. All right, so from here, draw your knees back in towards your chest and just give your knees a hug. Just simply rock yourself from side to side. And then from here, just extend your right leg straight out along your mat. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. Relax your shoulders down. From here, we'll come into reclined spinal twist. So taking your right hand to the outside of your left knee, bring your left leg all the way across to the right. Right, you can shift your hips slightly to the left. That'll help to stack your hips, right? And you want to make sure that your left shoulder is down. Extend your left arm out to the side. You can just remain with the back of your head resting, or you can turn your chin towards your left shoulder. So there's a straight line, right, from the crown of your head right down through your right foot. That's why I have you shift your hips so the shoulder, left shoulder, and the right hip are in line here, or your hips are in line. Now we're going to take a breath in and come back to center. Put both knees back in towards your chest, rock from side to side. And then we'll extend your left leg straight, hug your right knee in just for a few breaths. Drawing your low back down towards your mat. And then from here, take your right knee across to the left. Again, shifting your hip slightly to the right is helpful. Extending your right arm out to the side. Draw your breath in, right from your low belly up to your chest, and then from your chest down to your low belly. And then as you take a breath in, slowly bring both hips back to center. You can draw your knees and give them another hug, just rock from side to side. Now place the sole of your left foot down on your mat. Now this is option one, otherwise you can extend your left leg straight, flex your left toes up towards the ceiling. Take your strap and wrap it around the sole of your right foot, extend your right leg up. Now, you can hold the strap together with both of your hands. Now, if you don't have a strap, you can interlace your hands around the back of your right leg, your hamstring. I'm not sure, strap call. Now, you want to keep both hips level, and you want to make sure that you don't shorten on the right side, right? So you want both sides to be evenly distributed. Now take your right toes and draw them towards your right knee to get a little extra stretch in the back of your right calf. Remember, you don't want to lock out your knee here. And we're warming up as well. So take a few breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. Now from here, just slowly rotate your right toes out to the right slightly. And notice where the stretch changes, right? Keep flexing your foot. Remember, breathing helps. And then from here, straighten out your foot. Now, I forgot to do this option. If you want, you can take your block and bring it to the right side. You're going to take the strap together in your right hand, take your left hand to the top of your left thigh or hip, and then slowly let your right leg come out to the side. Keep your hips right where they are. This left hand is a reminder that if the left hip lifts up, you want to drop back down. So it's not about bringing your right leg closer to the floor or your mat, right? You want to feel the stretch. Continue to flex your foot. Now, if you want a little bit more of a stretch, if you're feeling really flexible, if you are, you can draw your toes, your right toes up towards your right shoulder. Make sure that your left toes are pointing straight up towards the ceiling. And breathe. Again, be aware of where you feel the stretch here. We can tend to hold stress either in the backs of our legs or the fronts, like the quadriceps and your hip flexors, right, from sitting. If you do a lot of sitting, whether at your desk or driving, it's really good to stretch out these muscles. Right now, we're not stretching out the top of your thigh. We feel more in the back. Now, we're going to take your right leg and lift it back up to center, and we're going to take the strap together in your left hand. Now, here too, you can relax your leg on the block if you like, right? If you don't have a strap, I forgot to say this, you can take your left hand right somewhere on your left leg. Now you're in a twist, flex both of your feet, take your right arm out to the side, and you're gonna turn your chin towards your right shoulder. Notice where you feel the stretch now. All right, so if you're familiar, if you've done a lot of yoga classes, right, if you were standing, you'd be in revolved triangle, or you would be in a revolved half moon, balance pose. Okay. As you inhale, bring your right leg back to center and take the strap together, both of your hands. You can keep your head and your neck down, or you can take a breath in and lift your head and your neck up towards your leg. Don't stress. To bring your leg closer, use your breath, right, to open up your body. And then we're going to slowly lower down. Lower your right leg down right alongside the left. Just pause here. Now observe your right leg and your left leg before you do anything. And then here you can take your left foot and slip it into the strap and take your right leg out, your right foot. I just check the camera because I still have the other screen on. All right, so align yourself here. Alignment's important in yoga to get the full benefit out of what you're doing. You don't necessarily have to be standing, right? So your right foot is flexed. Your left leg is flexed. So you're drawing your toes down towards the left knee. You should feel an extra stretch in the back of your leg here. Make sure both hips are down evenly, and then breathe. Notice the difference between the right side and the left side. Yoga is about balance. That's why we do both legs. Sometimes the second side, you have to be careful that we do it the same amount of time. This stretch is really good if you have sciatica, right, or just good in general, right? These stretches, if your hips are tight, it's also good to keep these muscles stretched out, because if you have things going on with your lower back, right, it's all connected, right? So you can feel pain in the lower back if you feel tightness in the backs of your legs. Now from here, just slowly rotate your left toes out to the left a little bit, right? And notice where the stretch goes from here. And then turn your toes back towards you. And take the strap together in your left hand and slowly release your left leg out to the side. And if you don't have a strap, right, your hand would be on the outside of your leg. Right hand is either on your pelvis, right, that bony part that you feel, or the top of your right thigh. Make sure you're breathing. I know a few of you did these stretches with me the first time I did class, but these are good to do no matter what. Now we're gonna breathe in and lift your left leg back up to center. We're gonna cross it over. So take the strap in your right hand. Here too, when you come into that twist, you can shift your hip slightly to the left. All right, so if you wanted to rest your leg on the block, you can have the leg on the block, you can extend your left arm out to the side. Flex your toes. Breathing in, lift your left leg back up to center. And if you kept your head and your neck down on the right side, you can keep it down here. Otherwise, take a breath in and lift your leg up. Lift your head and your neck up, excuse me. This gives you the opportunity to gaze down towards your right foot, making sure that your toes are moving up towards the ceiling. We're going to slowly lower everything down. You bring your left leg right alongside the right, and just slowly release the strap. Just put it to the side. We're going to use it again. Extend your arms above your head. Take a stretch. And then release your arms down by your sides. So from here, walk your feet in. Bringing the soles of your feet down to your mat. We'll come into reclined pigeon, and then we'll come into bridge pose. So from here, just take your right ankle, cross it over your left knee. We did this last week. You can press your right thigh away with your right hand. Flex your right toes towards your right knee. You interlace your hands around the left thigh, lifting up your left leg. You can use your right elbow to gently guide the right knee away from you as you draw your left thigh in towards you. And then if your left foot is lifted, slowly release it down and uncross your ankle. You can hug your knees in towards your chest. You can windshield wiper your legs from side to side. And then place your feet down, hip width apart and parallel. Cross your left ankle over the right knee, over the top of the right knee, and press your left thigh away with your left hand. Or if you interlace your hands around the back of your thigh, this time you do it around the right thigh. Also, too, I forgot, rocking your legs back and forth feels good too. Notice your breath, and notice if you are tensing up in any areas, right? Shoulders, face, you're gripping your hands. And then to exhale, we're going to slowly release your right foot down. If it's lifted, uncross your ankle, windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Now place your feet down hip width apart and parallel. We're gonna come into a moving bridge. We'll take 3 of these where what you'll do is you'll lift up a little bit each time and extend your arms above your head, right? Try to touch the backs of your hands down. If they don't reach, that's fine, right? Now bridge pose, your knees are in line with your hips and your ankles are under your knees. Now, if you have sensitive knees or if you have knee issues, you can walk your feet slightly away from your knees towards the back edge of your mat if it doesn't feel right. From here, we're going to take your arms and bring them down by your side. And draw your navel in toward your spine. So you feel that slight tuck of your tailbone. You want to hold that. Now, as you inhale, press down through your feet and just lift up your sacrum and a few vertebrae. And then extend your arms above your head. And like reach out through your fingers. You're keeping your core engaged. And then as you exhale, everything comes down. Inhale, lift up again, coming up a little bit higher. And then exhale, slowly lower down. One more time, inhale, lift up. Arms extended above, lift your hips a little bit higher. Let your chin come back, so you're gazing straight up towards your ceiling so you keep your throat open. You can bring your arms down by your sides. Now you can take a hold of the outer edges of your mat here to hold on to if you like, or you can roll one shoulder blade under and then the other, coming into Yoga Mudra. Now, from here, press your heels down and isometrically pull them towards your shoulders, right? To get that engagement of the backs of your legs, right? And your lower glutes. Press your arms down, get a little bit of height. Make sure that you're inhaling and exhaling. Also, make sure that your knees are pointing straight forward, that they're not going in or out. You want to keep them over your knees, pointing towards your toes. This is good for your back, for your core. And if you don't have Yoga Mudra, that's fun too. All right, so slowly release your hands if you're in Yoga Mudra. Just take a breath in, and then lower down as slowly as you can, articulating your spine. So feeling as each vertebrae makes contact with your mat. And at the bottom, just hold here. Take a breath in through your nose, and then out through your mouth. Walk your ankles and your knees together. You can take your hands behind your thighs and just rock yourself forward and back. Now, if you get dizzy, you can roll to your right side. We're going to come up to seated, right? So you want to find a comfortable seat. You don't necessarily have to sit cross-legged. You could sit with one leg in front of the other, right? You can sit in hero's pose, your knees, and you could use a block if you wanted to, right? To sit on a block for support. Now, if you have sensitive knees, this is not the pose for you. All right, so take your strap and use it a little bit more, or whatever you're using. And what I'd like you to do is make sure that you have a lot of space here just to begin with, so that when you bring your arms behind your back, you're not scrunching your shoulder blades, right? As we move a little bit more through this, you may find that you can bring your hands a little bit closer, right? So sit up nice and tall and hold the strap in front of you. Now, as you inhale, you're going to lift the strap up above your head, and then as you exhale, you'll bring it back behind you. Inhale, lift it up, and then exhale. Inhale and lift up, and then exhale, come behind. Inhale, lift it up, and then bring it in front of you. Now take 4 more of these. Remember, you're always moving with your breath, right? And just notice what you're feeling, right? Your shoulders. When you're done, you can roll your shoulders forward and back. Just notice how you feel. Now from here, we're going to extend the strap up. If you want more space here, have more space. And we're going to lean over and take a side bend to the right. Right, now you can lift your gaze up toward your left hand. If you need more space, you can walk your hands further apart. As you inhale, lift back up, and then as you exhale, come over to the left. Inhale, lift up, and then exhale, come over to the right. I was wondering where the sun is. I thought it was supposed to be sunny today. Inhale, lift up, and then exhale, other side. My daughter is only here for a couple weeks from Colorado. She's going to school there. And she said the one thing about Colorado, even though it's cold, we're coming over to the right again, is that it's sunny. It's not like New Jersey. Inhale, lift up, and then exhale, come over to the left. And then inhale, lift up, and then release. From here, roll your shoulders back, roll them forward. You can shake your hands out. Might use the strap again for forward bending. I'll show you that too. Okay, now from here, bring your arms up to the side. Take your right ear and drop it towards your right shoulder. We're going to take your right arm and we're going to wrap it around. So bring your right palm to your left ear. Now there's several things you can do here. You can take your left hand and gently press it down into your mat or block, or you can extend your left arm out to the side. Want to feel a stretch through your neck. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, not leaning forward. From here, slowly lower your left hand down. As you inhale, extend your right arm up. As you exhale, send it up and over. You can press into your left hand. Do a little bit more lift. Make sure your right palm's facing down toward your mat. As you inhale, lift up, extend both arms up. As you exhale, we'll twist to the right. Right, so you want to be aware of your body perpendicular, right, to the floor. You can rise up onto your fingertips of your right hand. So when you walk them in, you can feel your spine, right, lifting up. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Think of growing tall on an inhale and going a little deeper on your exhale. As you inhale, we'll turn forward, extend your arms up, and then as you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart center. Bring your right fingertips down, right? Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder, wrap your left arm around your head, so your left fingertips or palm is gently placed on the right ear. Again, if you press into your mat, you're gonna get the same thing through your shoulder. Otherwise, you could extend your arm out to the side and really reach your fingertips away. Breathe. Notice what you're feeling here, where you feel the stretch. And then from here, if your hand is lifted, lift it and bring it down to the mat or block. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Exhale, send it up and over. So here too, right, if your neck is stiff, you can gaze down or gaze straight ahead. Right, you want to keep your gaze focused. You don't want to be darting your eyes around the room, which means that you're not engaged with what you're doing. Right, your gaze is your drishti. As you inhale, lift up, and then as you exhale, take an easy twist to the left. Inhale, draw your breath up to your sternum. Exhale, feel your breath move down towards your sits bones. As you inhale, come forward. As you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart center. From here, come into child's pose. If your knees are sensitive, of course, place something under your knees. Maybe the tops of your feet or between the backs of your legs and your calves. Extend your arms straight forward. And if your forehead doesn't touch your mat, support it with a blanket or a block. And just take a few breaths here. Just notice your breath here as you forward fold, right? And then notice how it feels to be forward, forward bending. The next time you breathe in, lift yourself up and come into a tabletop position. So bring your wrists under your shoulders or slightly forward, knees under your hips. Let's tuck your toes under. Draw your navel in towards your spine. If your wrists are sensitive, you can always come down onto forearms. Sometimes blocks help. As you inhale, bring your belly towards the floor and bring your chest forward. And then as you exhale, round your spine up towards the ceiling. Great. Chin slightly towards your chest. Inhale, come forward. And then exhale, round back. Great. So the only thing that's moving here is your spine. Remember that your neck is part of your spine. Okay, so the next time that you come into your cat pose, which is your spine rounding up toward the center, you can untuck your toes here, sit back on your heels. As you inhale, we're going to lift up and come into cow. So as if you're going into table, bring your belly towards the floor, let your back bend. As you exhale, round your spine, sit back on your heels. Do that again. Inhale, come forward. And then exhale, round back. Now you can continue in this fashion, right? Doing this flow. Do it at your own pace, right? Or you can inhale, come forward, and then slowly bring your thighs slightly towards your mat. Now here, bend your elbows slightly. So you're in a little bit of up dog. And then as you exhale, round your spine, sit back on your heels. Right now, if it doesn't feel good in your body, don't do it, right? Inhale, come forward, and then exhale, round back. And just one more time. Now from here, lift yourself up and come into tabletop. Walk your hands slightly forward of your shoulders. Tuck your toes under, engage your core. Press the mat away with your hands. We're coming into down dog. You're gonna slowly lift your knees up and press your hips up and back. All right, so keep your knees bent. Draw your heels down towards your mat. Remember, they don't have to touch. You're pressing the mat away. Take your upper arms, your biceps, and draw them away from your ears. And then from here, you can slowly begin to walk it out, right? And then come to stillness. Keep lifting your hips up and back. Okay. Now, as you breathe in, we're going to shift yourself forward. Come in the plank pose. Now, you can always bring your knees down behind your hips. And even if your knees are down behind your hips, your wrists are over your shoulders. And even if your knees are down behind your hips, your core is engaged and you're firming up the fronts of your thighs. Right? If you're in plank pose, extend from the crown of your head. You might walk your toes back. Press the mat away, no matter where you are. And then if your knees are lifted, you can either lower down if you lower down through chaturanga, or bring your knees down and then shift your shoulders forward, point your elbows back and lower all the way down to your belly. Now from here, come into Sphinx pose. So bring your elbows underneath your shoulders or slightly forward, right? And your arms are parallel. From here, point your toes straight back, right? So the tops of your feet are down. Press your forearms down into your mat and isometrically pull them back, right? Press your toes down. And just take a few breaths here. Now from here, we're going to take your left forearm and bring it across so it's in line with the top edge of your mat. And bend your right knee and reach back with your right hand for your right foot. right? You can always wrap a strap around your ankle. Now, if your foot is challenging to get, you can just roll to your side and then take a hold of your foot, right? So press your right palm into the top of your right foot, turn your chest forward and press your forearm down and then gaze forward, your left forearm, and breathe. Again, be aware of where you feel the stretch. And then release that and switch. Take your right forearm across, bend your left knee and reach back with your left hand. Again, you can roll to your right hip here. And you can turn your chest forward as you press up your right forearm. So you're drawing the sole of your left foot towards your hip. This is stretching out the front of your thigh and your hip flexor. And then from here, release your foot down. Now, bring your forehead down, slide your palms alongside your chest. Press into your toes, lift your navel away from your mat. Press into your hands, inhale, lift up to cobra. Gaze down and slightly ahead. Exhale and lower down. And then inhale, lift up. So when you press your toes down, roll to your pinky toes and extend out through your toes. Exhale and lower down. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, lower down. From here, tuck your toes under, lift your hips back to your heels and up into down dog. Take a breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. Rise up high onto your toes, bend your knees, gaze forward, and then slowly walk yourself to the top of your mat. Come to standing forward fold. Now, if you have blocks, you can place your hands on blocks or below your knees, if no blocks, or on tops of your thighs. Bring your chin towards your chest. Keep your knees slightly bent, feet are hip width apart and parallel. Take a hold of opposite elbows and let your upper body traction down towards your mat, right? So you're hinging from your hip here. Your head is relaxing, turn your chin from shoulder to shoulder. And then bring your fingertips to blocks or wherever it's comfortable. Heel toe your ankles and your knees together. Place your hands on the tops of your thighs and we're lifting up in a chair pose. Right, so you can have your arms straight ahead if your shoulders are tight. You're gonna squeeze your ankles and your knees together. Make sure you can see your toes. Draw your navel in and up. And sit back like there's a chair behind you. The next time you breathe in, slowly rise all the way up to standing, and then bring your palms together. Exhale, draw them in towards the center of your chest. Take a breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. And then bring your arms down by your sides. Just take a moment to notice yourself from the ground up, right? Just be aware of your thoughts and all that. All right, so as you inhale, we're gonna sweep your arms up and then turn your palms down, bend your knees as you exhale, hinge from your hips and forward fold. Rise up halfway on an inhale so you can have your hands to blocks. This is Ardha Uttanasana, right? Your hips stay over your ankles, exhale and fold. From here, step your left foot back and lower your left knee down. So you can pad your left knee if you need to. All right, so you can have your hands on blocks if you'd like, right? And just make sure that you're not on your left kneecap, right? And that your right knee is directly over your ankle. Now you can start by taking your hands to your thigh, walk your hands back, press your thigh away, open up your chest. You can stay here. You can inhale and send your arms straight up alongside your ears. Let's inhale and exhale. Now from here, take your right arm and place your right palm on your back. And so your right elbow is pointing up towards the ceiling. And then take your left hand and draw your right elbow in towards the right side of your face. Right, so this is Gomukhasana arms. If you can reach your left arm around, right, and hold on to your fingers, you can do that, but make sure one elbow's pointing up and one down. And then from here, slowly release, extend your arms straight up. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down. We're gonna take your hands inside of your right leg. Right, so you can heel toe your right foot out to the side a little bit, and then you can hug your right arm against your inner right leg, coming into lizard. Now you can stay up on your palms. Your fingertips would be in line with your toes, or you can come down onto your forearms. You could be supported by blocks. Make sure that your chest is open, right? And you're feeling the stretch in your back leg, like you're not all crunched up and your head's down. You want to extend forward. Now, if you're on your forearm, slowly lift yourself up. You're going to take your right hand outside your right foot, heel toe your right foot to the center of your mat and forward, and then just flex your right toes. Walk your hands back. So here you can have your hands on blocks. Press your right heel down into your mat and draw it back towards your right hip. So to align your hips, and also you should feel a stretch in the back of your right hamstring. Take a breath in and lengthen. Exhale and come forward. So your chest is moving towards your toes, toes towards your chest. Now from here, you can use your block if you like. I'm going to place it on the inside of your right leg, and then bring your left hand to the block. Right, you can bring your right hand to your hip and just roll your right shoulder open for a twist, or you can extend your right arm up. Now it helps to press down through your left foot and your right heel. Keep your gaze steady. A little bit of a balance. Shoulders are stacked. You're reaching from arm to arm. Inhale and exhale. And then from here, slowly release your hand down. You can move the block out of the way. From here, slowly shift back into your low lunge. So lifting up your back knee, we're going to step your back foot forward a third of the way for Parsvottanasana. Right, so you can bring blocks to either side of your right foot. Right, so feet are about 3.5 to 4 feet apart. Your back heel is rotated down, and your left toes are moving at a 45-degree angle. Now press through your feet and slowly lift yourself up to standing. Take your hands to your hips, right, and point your hips straight forward. All right, so if this is not for you and you're feeling a little off balance today, you can always bring your hands down. We're going to take your arms into Yoga Mudra, right? Or you can hold opposite elbows, or you can come into reverse prayer, right? So you're in a prayer shape, your pinky fingers are at your back, you're drawing your shoulder blades together. Now, pressing down through your feet, you're going to take a breath in and open up through your chest, your throat, and your face. And then as you exhale, you're going to hinge forward. Now just come halfway, extend the crown of your head, tailbone back. And I want you to press your right foot down and isometrically pull it back. And then press your left foot down and pull it forward. Now you're balancing here. Press through the inner edge of your right foot. You can bring your arms down at any time. If you have a shoulder injury, please keep them on your back. And then we'll slowly release them down. Take a breath in and extend, exhale and fold. Keep pressing into your back heel. So the tendency is to use your front leg, right? This is a hamstring stretch. You should feel it in the backs of your legs. Your chin's moving towards your chest. You're gazing behind you. Make sure you're not moving forward and putting any stress on your neck. From here, we're going to take a breath in and step your left foot right alongside the right. Heel toe your ankles and your knees together. Come back into chair pose. Now from here, we're going to bring your palms together. Keep your knees in line. We're going to twist to the right. So take your left elbow, bring it across. Make sure your knees stay in line, and take your right palm and place it on top of the left. So roll your right shoulder back and draw your thumbs towards your chest. Press your index fingers together. So we're going to Extend from the crown of your head to your tailbone. You're gonna inhale to lengthen, you're gonna exhale to open up. You could always have one arm extended back if that's easier for you, right? If you're not feeling it today. And then come forward on an inhale and lift yourself all the way up to standing. Keep your glutes and your core engaged and take a little bit of a back bend, palms together. Exhale, draw them in towards the center of your chest. We're gonna come back into chair pose, right? So ankles and knees together, get back. And then this time, bring your right elbow across the left, palms together. And then slowly rotate your left shoulder back, sit back. The idea is to kind of you want to draw your thumbs towards your chest. Inhale and exhale. From here, gaze down towards your feet. Bring your hands down, take a breath in, extend your chest forward. This time as you exhale, step your right foot back and lower your right knee down. Blocks or no blocks, hands to thigh or not, we're gonna inhale and extend your arms up, coming into a low lunge. Press down through your feet, squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Right, you wanna remember that the pose begins at the floor, right? So if you're not feeling steady, you can always come down and realign. This time we're gonna take your left hand onto your back and you're gonna take a hold of your left elbow with your right hand. Okay, notice where you feel the stretch here. If you have a full bind, you can take the full bind, holding onto your hands, your fingers holding on. And then slowly release, send your arms up on an inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands down to the inside of your left foot. Kneel to your left foot out to the side for space, right? Whatever you did on the other side, hug your left outer arm to the left inner leg. Make sure your chest is extending forward between your shoulders. This is lizard. And most people don't like it, but it does what it's supposed to do. Make sure that you're breathing evenly. Stay connected with your breath, right? And then we'll slowly lift up back onto your palms. If you're on your forearms, take your left hand outside your left foot. We're gonna heel toe your left foot to the center and forward for space, right? You can have your hands on blocks here as you flex your toes, right? And you want your spine to be long. You don't want to be hunched over. It's not about how close you get to your leg. Make sure your left toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. You press your left heel down, isometrically pull it back, aligning your hips. Now from here, I'll take it into the twist that we did before. All right, so keeping your legs straight, you can have a block on the inside of your leg, your left leg. You can take your left hand to your hip and just roll your left shoulder open, right? You can stay here, you can extend your arm up. All right, so feel from the ground up, right? It's not only a twist, there's a balance here as well. Keep your gaze steady, make sure that you're breathing. And then from here, exhale, lower your hand down, move the block out to the side, keep it handy. And then we'll shift back into your lunge and then step into your stance for Parsvottanasana. Make sure that your feet are not crossing. Make sure that your back heel is not lifted, right? Your left knee is pointing straight up towards the ceiling. You press through your feet and slowly lift yourself up to standing, and then take your left hip back, your right hip forward. Now, whatever you did on the other side, whether you're held opposite elbows, right, or yoga mudra, you'll switch the cross of your fingers. or reverse namaste. Right, press through your feet, inhale, lift up, squeeze your inner thighs towards each other, your belly's toned. And then as you exhale, extend the crown of your head forward. So lengthen your spine, draw your left hip back, your right hip forward. You can pause halfway, bring your chin slightly towards your chest, so you're gazing straight down. If you feel you can come all the way down, you can. If you want to bring your hands down, you can. Just inhale and exhale. And then release your hands down to the blocks or your mat. Take a breath in, lengthen your spine. Here's another place where you can align your hips. So take your left hip back, right hip forward, and then fold again. Press into your right heel. And then slowly lift up. All right, so from here, you can bend your left knee slightly, roll to the ball of your right foot, step it back slightly, bring your right knee down, and then bring your left knee down, and we're gonna sit back on your heels. All right, so you can keep your blocks handy here. I'm gonna come into camel pose in the back bend. Back bends are, they open up your lungs, and they're good too. They can help to release energy. And I don't like to quote like exactly, but and also they're good to do like if you have allergies or congestion. Right, so we're gonna lift up onto your knees. Again, pad your knees if you need to. We're gonna tuck your toes under. So your knees are hip width apart, right? From here, just take your hands to your hips and draw your shoulder blades together. You're gonna press your knees down in your toes, and you're gonna firm up the fronts of your thighs and roll your inner thighs back, right? Your tailbone moves down. All right, so you take your hands to your low back. Now, as you inhale, lengthen the front of your body, and then slowly lean back. Extending your hips forward, so bringing them as if you want them to be directly over your knees, and then let your head come back. You should be able to talk. Shoulder blades are drawing together. And then the last thing to come up is your head. So you're gonna inhale and then slowly lift up. Release your hands, and then you can untuck your toes and sit back on your heels. Right, so close your eyes. You can have your palms face up or face down. Just notice what you feel in your spine. Whenever you do a deep back bend, you don't want to come into something quickly. You don't want to come into an opposite pose quickly. We're going to extend your legs straight forward. This is the last pose, and we're coming down on our backs. And you can bend your knees if your hamstrings are tight. You can keep your feet, your legs a little bit wider. If you have your strap handy, I'm just going to show you how to use the strap. You'll get a nice stretch here. So if you place the strap around the soles of your feet and holding it together, you can also sit on the edge of something too. That helps to tilt your pelvis forward, right? You don't want to put strain on the backs of your legs or your low back. You're going to take a breath in and lengthen. And as you exhale, come forward, right? So you can slowly walk your hands up the strap. Bring your chin towards your chest. Inhale again, lengthen, exhale, fold. Shoulder blades are on the back. You're extending the crown of your head towards your toes. Breathe. You should feel a good stretch here. Make sure the outer edges of your feet are drawing back towards your hips. And then as you inhale, we're going to slowly lift up. You can release the strap. I'm going to give you two options here. You can either come into reverse plank, so wrists are under your shoulders, my fingertips are pointing towards the back edge of my mat, legs stay straight. Press through your heels and your hands, inhale, lift up. Draw your toes down towards your mat, reverse plank. Or you can come into reverse table. Feet are hip width apart and parallel. When you lift up, your knees are in line with your ankles. your shoulders are over your wrist, press the mat away, either way, lifting up through your chest. And wherever you are, take another breath in, and then as you exhale, we'll lower down to your hips, and then lower all the way down, hugging your knees in towards your chest, just rock from side to side. We'll just take a minute to come into an inversion. If you're ready for Shavasana, you can come into Shavasana. So placing your feet down on your mat, hip width apart, you can lift up your hips and take your block and just place it under your sacrum, right? This could be a nice place for you to stay. Otherwise, you can extend your legs up, ankles and knees together. This reverses the flow of your blood, right, to your heart. This can help with, or you can come into any other pose that I haven't done that would complete your practice. Ankles and knees together, right? So this is good for if your ankles are swollen, if your legs feel tired, you can always do this. You can even bring your legs over the side of your bed. Of course, if your legs get tired, right, you can bring your feet down. Just take a few deep breaths here. And I want to make sure you have time for Shavasana. I don't want to. You can always stay in this pose for your Shavasana. Or you'll slowly transition into Shavasana, right? So you can extend your legs straight, right? Like we did at the beginning of class. You can take Supta Baddha Konasana. You can lay on the front of your body in crocodile pose with your forearms crossed, or you can sit up for Shavasana. Wherever you land, make sure that you are warm, so you cover your body up. Whether you add an extra layer of clothing or a blanket. And then once you're settled in, take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, exhale through your mouth. Let go of all control. So letting your body rest, letting your mind relax as best as you can. So positive energy, it's easy to look around and notice what's wrong. It takes practice to see what's right. Many of us have lived around negativity for years. We've become skilled at labeling what's wrong with other people, our life, our work, our day, our relationships, ourselves, our conduct, our recovery. We want to be realistic, and our goal is to identify and accept reality. However, this is often not our intent when we practice negativity. The purpose of negativity is usually annihilation. Negative thinking empowers the problem. It takes us out of harmony. Negative energy sabotages and destroys. It has a powerful life of its own. So does positive energy. Each day we can ask what's right, what's good about other people, our life, our work, our day, our relationships, ourselves, our conduct, and recovery. Positive energy heals, conducts love, and transforms. Choose a positive energy. Slowly begin to wake up your body. You can move your fingers, your toes, your wrists, and your ankles. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. And slowly let your knees fall over to the left. Okay. Just take an easy twist. And then take a breath in, bring your legs back up to center, and then release them over to the right. And then slowly press yourself up to seated. Just bring your palms together in Anjali Mudra in front of your heart center. And just notice how you feel from the crown of your head right down to your feet and your toes. Thank yourself for showing up for your yoga practice. I really appreciate it. And I apologize, I went over. Thank you so much for coming. Namaste. And enjoy the rest of your Saturday and the rest of your weekend.